in the pretty areas.
Yeah. That's right.
Everybody can have street poop from now on.
So now
guess
we're
we're
recording.
starting.
I got to be careful what I say.
No, right now I'm recording on my Zoom link. This is not the recording for the studio. He'll do his when we do a little
You know,
sound.
I learned no matter who owns something I just said, I better watch out.
Oh, that's true. That is true.
And now I know I'm being now I know I'm being recorded.
Yeah, I just hit the button.
So yeah.
Oh, no more
Yeah,
fun?
I know how
Okay,
this-
fine.
I know how this works. I accidentally said some things a few weeks ago that weren't good. We're live.
Yeah, well, so also on the show, if we need to do anything over, just misspeak or sneeze or something like that, we can always fix it.
I will do those things, but I don't usually worry about them. They just come out and I just deal with it. It's a balagon.
We're old. It happens. Stuff surprises us.
Nothing surprises us.
Okay, I think we're ready, boss.
If Larry Elder won, that would be a surprise.
Hey,
I
he got
expected
like
him to win, but
he got like 58% of the vote in Riverside County for the 46
so
candidates. That's pretty awesome. But it didn't
well,
count for
in
anything.
fact, no, it didn't count for anything because the Riverside County votes were thrown out, so they don't count.
Oh, no
And
kidding.
the Orange County votes were thrown out. So they only counted San Francisco, Sacramento, and Los Angeles. The entire rest of the state, they threw out all the votes.
I believe
What are
you.
you talking about?
And that's the way listen, I'm just saying from some of the things I've observed that I'm pretty confident something like that's going on.
Well, if you've got, I think the numbers I saw were 2/3 of the people said, no, we want Newsom to stay. That right there, I mean, that's like saying 81 million people voted for Joe Biden. 2/3 of the people in this, 80% of the people in here hate Newsom. 2/3 of the votes that they created and had counted said he should stay. It's a big disconnect between what the people want and what they voted for and what they're counting these days. And I don't know, Tom, I don't know where they're going to finally fix this because it is absolutely crazy. If you can't trust elections, our system's over.
I think we've entered into a banana republic. One of my friends from Minnesota texted me probably about an hour ago. And he said he used to be from here. He got smart.
He's still from here.
Minnesota. He's still from here, but he's in Minnesota and he's not happy about. I mean, they've got their own problems in Minneapolis, and but he did say, "Hey, it looks like we've entered into a banana republic. Saddam Hussein would win 99% of the votes, and this is how he did it." I think these Marxists from America learned from those countries like that. How do we ensure that we are always in charge? This is what we do. This is how Saddam Hussein did it. This is how the guys in Venezuela have done it. This is what you do. You win every time. Can't lose.
And if they don't like it, then they're terrorists.
Yeah, so let's make some well camps to make sure we put all these radical bad, especially those January 6 people. Did I just disappear?
Philip did.
Okay, it isn't
Did we
just
lose you,
my
Philip?
imagination then.
Huh. He disconnected somehow.
Well. I hear a voice in the background.
I guess. That's me, the guy without the camera.
Oh,
I think he's back.
there he is. Oh, there he is.
He's back.
I switched out.
Okay.
I didn't like that headset, so I switched this out a little bit. So I wear
this
the
mic's
headset if
much
I have a lot
better.
of background noise, need a more directional microphone. But I'm the only one home here right now, so we can get away with this one.
Can you get
Okay,
the dog to
so
bark
it
in the
was-
background?
How many 10-minute segments is this?
14.
14.
So how many 10-minute segments?
We'll be
is
here
it?
till
4. So does that include your commercials? Or is it 10 minutes?
Yeah, we
you
don't
got a
play the
commercial?
commercials.
Yeah, we don't have to sit
Okay,
through
but
those.
okay, praise the Lord. I've had
It's
to sit through
actually it's a
commercials
50-minute
doing
show,
these
but
things.
yeah.
Okay, no, as long as I'm just trying to. So, what time do you got to leave? 4? But Gabe's here, right?
Better get
You
rolling.
two guys?
I'm ready.
What? Oh, you both got time. Okay, we're good. They have plenty of time. Okay, I'm ready.
Fire
All right,
it off.
Dr. Dan.
Here it goes.
Good. Bad. I'm the guy with the gun.
Hello, folks. Welcome to another edition of Firing Line Radio Show. This is Philip Naiman. Hope you're having a great day out there because, well, you might as well have a great day as long as we're here in California, because we're just not going to have the same kind of politics that we really deserve. Well, maybe we're getting what we deserve, but we're not getting what we need in this state to go forward. I am heartbroken over the shenanigans again that we've seen in these election systems, and the fact that they say 67% of the Californians who voted want Gavin Newsom to stay in power. Now, that to me, I don't know. That's almost like saying 81 million people want Joe Biden to be the president, or it's almost like saying $82 billion of weapons left in Afghanistan aren't going to come back and cause us a problem. It seems like we have a little bit of a disconnect with life and reality, especially when it comes to our election times. But I will not lament that anymore. Well, I will, but I'm going to say I don't, just sneak it in later. Folks, this show, I have a very special guest, old friend of mine. I've known him 20 plus years, I guess, when we first met you there, Tom. This is Pastor Tom Hughes. Pastor Tom Hughes of 412 Church in San Jacinto. HopeForOurTimes.com is his website, HopeForOurTimes.com. He's very, very active in current events. He's got podcasts and videos coming up on YouTube almost on a daily basis. He's doing something up there, keeping us involved with what's happening. I've invited him on this show specifically because I hear a lot of things in church. I hear a lot of things from other Christians or people who say that they're Christians. And there always seems to be a disconnect when people say, turn the other cheek, items like that. When people try and tell you about your Bible and about Christianity and self-defense, we hear a lot of people talking about it, but I thought I would just bring on a pastor who knows his stuff and let him go through some of these different topics. So, Pastor Tom, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. In fact, I'm doing great. You want to know why? Because I still am not going to trust Gavin Newsom. I learned how not to trust him over the last several years, and I can't wait for Jesus to come back and fix this mess.
So is it like the devil you know, right?
That's what I think. Say what?
It's like the devil you know.
I'd much prefer he is not. I would much prefer he's not there. But if I'm here for a fight. I mean, I feel like this is why I'm in California. I'm here. I've loved the state. I was born in the state. I've lived here almost 62 years, and I don't feel like going away. But I do feel like staying here and fighting. And there's a lot to fight for. And this place is messed up. And we have a system in Sacramento that has messed this up. I got to ask you one question, Philip, before we go further, because I'm used to getting censored on other places. Am I going to get censored here?
Not for me.
I mean, will it go on the radio? Okay,
yeah.
Not by you. Okay, so because I look at the election in California. And, well, let me go back to November of 2020. So I looked at that election, and before we got there, I said, look, these people that are running some of the things behind the scenes, they learned how to cheat from the state of California. And you go back to California politics. I mean, most people I know that I run into anywhere, whether I'm in San Diego, Orange County, out your way, wherever it is, I'm up north, and this has been going on for years. They haven't liked the politics in California. They've all said, no, we don't vote that way, we vote this other way. It's almost everybody. And yet, year after year, it goes against us no matter what we vote for. Do you remember, I think it was 2008, we vote for heterosexual marriage between a man and a woman. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
It overwhelmingly won. A judge turns the whole thing over. We don't care what you vote for in California. So that got turned over.
Wait. You're not giving full credit where credit is due there.
Okay.
The state of California made this a constitutional amendment for the state of California. Right? So now it is the constitutional amendment. When we passed it, that's what we passed, was a constitutional amendment, not just a law, to the state of California that is what is marriage in the state of California. Just, 11 years ago or 12 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we passed all of that. Then all of a sudden a San Francisco judge pops up and says, wait, I'm going to have an injunction. You have to come here and debate this. And California, the Attorney General for California, failed to file defending California's Constitution, which is what that was. She failed to file and even show up. She being Kamala Harris. Now, she probably laughed about it too. She was supposed to, by her job, Attorney General, is to defend the Constitution of the state of California. She absolutely did not. Now, if we had people who were paying attention, they'd say, we need to impeach her. She's not doing her job. And wouldn't that have been great? We wouldn't have to see what we see now had we done our job then.
Yeah.
And we can go into the Kamala Harris kick about the Bologna family, about the micro stamping. I mean, she's a disaster. Everything she's touched, everywhere she's gone, there's dead bodies all around, and dead bodies and more restricted rights on the citizens. But that's just the facts.
Yeah. It's terrible. Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
So when you look at what's going on, nationally. I mean, what went on nationally in November, it's like I think it was. These guys learned everything from California. I think California learned everything from Venezuela and Iraq with Saddam Hussein and these other people. So you look at this, the system is so corrupt when you look at the whole thing. But listen, we're not going anywhere, and I'm here to fight for what is right. And we also know, Philip, that right now I would guess that Newsom is going to be going after everybody he possibly can that resists him, which is just fine with me. And I know they got some dirty things that they can do, and they will do, but you know what? This world is not my home, but while I am here, I am going to stand up for what is right.
Well, it's like that scene from The Godfather where Tom goes to visit the guy in FBI custody. And he says, remember the old days when they made a play for the emperor and then they lost? They just quietly go home and commit suicide, right? That's what they're expecting us to do. And because we know that Newsom is going to come out after everything. He's only got one more year. So he didn't have to do anything. All he had to do was survive. He's got one more year and he's going to have to run. I don't think he's going to run. He'll probably appoint himself to take over Feinstein's job. But he's going to do everything he can to push that progressive cruddy agenda down our throats. What was the one we were talking about at the break here? I guess they want prostitution to be legal. I mean, that's women's rights, right? Yeah. I mean, that's everything you want for your daughter. Something to aspire to.
Yeah. Oh, it's fantastic. So right now, it's been so wonderful to go down the streets in California. Many of the streets in California, you have a major homeless problem. Then to know that you're going to be adding that now police aren't going to be able to arrest prostitutes. They're not going to be able to get them off the streets. This is great. Welcome to the promised land. So I look at this and go, at the same time though, I do come from somewhat of a biblical perspective when I see things. And personally, I look at things, we've gotten so far away from God in all of these things, in anything that's right and anything that's good. And a lot of what we have is through, how could we have voted for this kind of stuff? Can there be that many people that actually think, yeah, I just love seeing Beverly Hills riddled with homeless people? I was there not too long ago. Before the current, I think they're trying to lock down everything in Los Angeles again. So it's probably about 6 weeks ago, driving down one of the main streets of Beverly Hills, and it's Tent City. And you're going, and they think this is great.
In Beverly Hills.
I got a friend who had Beverly Hills. I have a friend, 2 weeks ago, he's driving through Beverly Hills. He has a van on it, construction he does, and he has this big Larry Elder sign on his van. And he's getting cursed out. He said it happened to him twice in Beverly Hills. So they're happy with all the gutter junk that they got there. They think that's great, but let's curse out this guy who's going to vote for Larry Elder. The thinking is just so mind-boggling. They can't even see how destructive.
We absolutely, in the name of diversity, had to make sure that black man was not the first governor. In the name of diversity, we had to do that because Larry Elder is the face of white supremacy, according to the New York Times.
That's all. I did read that somewhere. Wasn't it also a white woman with a gorilla mask on who took the eggs and threw it at the racist black man? You're looking at it going,
I actually,
could you imagine
now I'm
if
not sure
whole
about
scene
that.
was
Now
too-
that gorilla mask never came off. That person was
Am I wrong?
left-handed. Gavin Newsom's left-handed, and she did throw like a girl. So I think it was actually Gavin Newsom that did that. I think, he's got that Obama arm, elbows
you might be
first.
right.
Anyway, I think it might have actually been him.
Obama arm. Did you see Anthony Fauci when he went to throw that pitch out at that game? That
Yeah,
was,
it was farther off than his facts.
Oh my gosh. That was that was just something else. Okay, I'm digressing. I don't want
I think maybe that's why we should just start judging our leaders here. We got a little bit of time. If they can't throw a ball from the pitcher's mound to home plate, they shouldn't run our government. Folks, Philip Naiman, Firing Line Radio Show. We'll be right back here with Pastor Tom Hughes, hopeforourtimes.com. You know what? That may not be a bad idea. If you can't throw a stinking ball straight, what the?
At least semi-straight.
We have no hope
At least
for you.
make it half part of the distance.
Don't bounce it.
It's like, I saw the pitch.
These are the
This is the
guys.
guy
These are the
running-
guys we never picked on the team. Okay, this
Yeah,
is our.
I think he's
Gavin
jealous.
Newsom was
Yeah.
never picked on the team. That's why he is our enemy now. He's like, oh, those normal people. I'll get them.
Yeah, I guarantee you Fauci was never picked for anything good, so he's out to pay back the world for whatever happened to him.
We shouldn't have
He's done
put
a
the
fine
jock
job.
straps on their heads.
That's like,
Well, actually, maybe we should do it again.
so, are you allowed to say that on the radio?
These are my. Well,
Are
no,
we
it's
still
on
on
the
a
video.
break?
But, hey, this is the good stuff in between the breaks.
Okay.
Yeah, Pastor Hughes has
Okay.
nothing to do with that. I'll do it. Okay. Let's go back here.
Ready?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, here we go.
All right, you primitive screwheads, listen up. See this? This is my boomstick.
Hey, folks, welcome back to Boomstick Radio. And every week we're going to talk about Second Amendment, current events, hunting, shooting, all the great stuff in the world. But, you better take a listen to today's current events, because in the state of California, the old boss is the same as the new boss. And that means that firearm ownership is going to become more onerous. So if you have not ever purchased a firearm for yourself, you need to get on down to Bullseye Sports Guns and Ammo in Riverside, the corner of Brockton and Arlington, between Arlington and Central, off of Brockton. He's right down there. Phone number, you know what? It's hard to describe exactly where he's at, but if you're on Central, near Brockton, above Arlington, and you can't find him, then grab your phone, call 951-823-0211, ask for Vince, get them set up. They have training. They've got great prices on firearms. They actually have firearms. And if you have not purchased your first, you really should head on down there, because, folks, California is going to be coming after the Second Amendment, and you need to be prepared. All right. Thank you, Vince, for your sponsorship. Folks, I want to talk about self-defense and self-defense from a Christian point of view, because I hear a lot of people, I really do, I hear it all the time, that you shouldn't own a firearm, or maybe you're not trusting God, or you should just turn the other cheek when somebody wants to, rape your wife. These are not Christian views, and I really want to have somebody come out and espouse upon them. So I've asked Pastor Tom Hughes. He's the pastor for the last 17 years at 412 Church in San Jacinto. Hopeforourtimes.com is his website. He's got a lot of great current event videos up there, so you should check that out. But Pastor Tom, give us your ideas, if you would, please.
Okay, on that subject, I think you wanted me to talk about the last segment, but sorry, I got sidetracked.
For the whole
Stay
show.
with it
No,
this
I
time.
mean, as
So-
long as we eventually get
okay,
to it
whole show.
before the last segment, we're going to keep trying. If we keep
Okay,
getting derailed,
got it.
that's okay too. But we're going to try. We're going to try and get there.
Okay. Okay, well, let's go here now. And I hear the same thing from people. I hear these pastors that I don't get it. Hey, just lay down. You shouldn't try to defend yourself. I say, are you insane? Where do you get this kind of thought from? You know, you also have in the Bible, which they fail to quote, when Jesus says, hey, it's time to pick up your dagger. So you look at this and you go, what is really going on? Listen, you have both in the Old Testament and in the New Testament where God tells David, hey, you're going to battle, David. God tells different people, you're going to battle. In the New Testament, you know what happens? Jesus is coming back, and it's going to be very bad.
He's not happy.
And you look at, he's not going to be happy. There's judgments that are taking place in the book of Revelation. That's the same person that many people say, well, he just walked around with a lamb on his shoulder, and he's real nice. No, he turned over the money changers' tables. Listen, you start looking at what Jesus actually did, what he taught, what the Old Testament and New Testament both teach, and then you put it into the context. Where do people get this insane idea within a church that if somebody breaks into my house, I am supposed to just sit there and say, do you want a warm cup of milk and some cookies? You know, is it Santa Claus that we're entertaining? I mean, where do you get this idea? I have said this for years, that if anybody attempts to break into my house and we are home, my guess is they have evil intent against my family. I'll deal with myself, but they're not going to touch my wife and they are not going to touch my kids. And I will make sure of that.
Or our dog.
I believe that you are wrong. Pardon me?
Or the dog. They can have the cat,
dogs,
but not
plural.
the dog.
Yeah, I can also get another cat that catches the rats and stuff. Yes, but seriously, they're breaking into my house. Their intent is harm, and I'm not going to let that happen with my wife and my kids. I'm not going to let it happen. So where do people get this idea? Yeah, you're just supposed to let. Oh, what do you give your wife over? It's like giving your wife over to the Taliban. Of course, that's the way our country seems to be going right now in Washington. So you start looking at that thing. This mentality of people that is in the church is disgusting. I don't get it. Yet, you want to know something else? The Bible does talk about in the book of Revelation that one of the reasons why God brings judgment is he says he gives all different descriptions of people. There's liars and so forth. And he said, and cowards. Cowards. Cowards won't stand up for what's right. Cowards won't stand up for the truth. Cowards won't even stand up for their own families. I think it's these cowardly men that just that go and I don't know, they just are afraid to get in a fight to protect their wife. Well, sorry, honey, I didn't want to get hurt, so I turned you over. I mean, I don't get it. It just makes no sense to me. I don't see how they can even support that view.
You know, I think there's actually, and you know, you and I are from a different age. I never thought I'd get old enough to actually say that, but you know, the way we were raised of, you know, go do whatever you want to do, take your bike and try and jump as many neighbor kids as you can. You know, 8 was my record, you know, a brick and a plank of wood and just pedal from the downhill as fast as you can and try and jump. You know, Evel Knievel was hot right then, right? But, you know, sometimes you crash, you skin your knee, you walk your broken bike home, bleeding all over the place. It wasn't an ambulance or a wambulance. You know, you got in a fight, you got black eye, you got a bloody nose, you went to school the next day. You know, things happen. You come home when the street lights are on and no one knows where you are until then, right? But I think that the generations behind us, you look at it, very few, I mean, most of the kids behind us, you know, they never got in a fight at school. I'm not saying you need to get in a fight at school, but it's like they're so sheltered and protected. They never learned how to stand up for themselves, you know, because everybody gets bullied. And so this anti-bullying thing is like, well, that's anti-life. Everybody gets bullied. The biggest tough guys eventually get bullied. Everybody learns their order in, you know, one way or the other. You find out where your place is in life and somebody puts you there quickly. But this stopping all this normal aggression or reactions in schools and stuff. I'm not saying you need to have gang fights, but you know, the normal stuff, the rough and tumble, the wrestling, and the stuff that boys used to do all the time, stopping all of that, I think, has made everybody so afraid of so many things that it spills over into these other areas.
Soy boys, right? Soy boys. So we got Sissy. Can I ask? I have a couple of guys in the studio with me that are both quite young.
Yeah.
Can I ask them? Hey, do you guys think that I should be able to take out somebody who comes break in my house? Of course. You guys are awesome. This is why they're in the studio with me. One's 19. How old are you, Gabe? 20 what? 22. This is awesome. I have more hope for the really young than I do for the other
middle
age group that comes between that and where you and I are.
Yeah.
But I look at this and think, yeah, I have a friend. This is true. He owns a gun store out here in the area where I live. So he's a little bit older than me. He grew up on a ranch. He used to do hog tying. Somebody tried to bust his tops at his store one day a few years ago, because the area I live in can be kind of rough. So he comes into the store, he chases them out of the store, the guy starts running. I kid you not. He got a rope, he lassoed him, he hog-tied him, called the cops, and the cops, in our town, it's kind of small, they came, and the guy's hog-tied, and the cop came and arrested him. It's great. I love that kind of stuff. That's how things should be handled. I mean, isn't that great? I mean, I love that.
So
How
did
many
you
people
see?
can say
Did
they
you
have
see
a friend
the?
that hog-ties criminals?
No, I think that's absolutely amazing. I think they should all be hog-tied, branded too. I mean, we got them down there. So again, that's
He
my.
probably would if he had enough. If the cops didn't show up, he would have
That's
probably.
my
testified.
opinion, not Pastor Tom's. My opinion. I think all criminals, felons should be branded. Okay, on the butt while they're being hogtied after they've been caught in the act. So, did you see there was a shooting in Florida this week? And again, this comes down to some of the same stuff. 2 police officers have these guys pulled over and they're talking. And I don't know if they're waiting for numbers to come back or what exactly, but like a lot of time has expired. They're just casually talking with these guys. There's 2 gentlemen outside the car. Apparently one was in the back seat of the car with a 18-month-old baby. So the one officer looks inside and he goes, hey, oh yeah, I got grandkids about that age. And he goes, hey, would you mind stepping out of the car? So he opens up the door. This guy bails out. I think he had a pistol gripped AR-15 and just starts firing. And it's this gunfight going all the way around and all the way around. And the 2 guys who were out talking, they book because this guy, they don't know what's going on. There's an 18-month-old kid in the backseat of the car. Major gunfight. This guy gets shot in the foot. His gun jams or he's out of bullets or whatever. He comes around the back of the car, starts hitting the police officers in the back of the head with this weapon, breaks his AR pistol on the cop, and they go down. And anyway, eventually the other cop comes in and finishes him. 34 felony arrests, and he's on the street.
He's on the street. 34 felony arrests.
34 felony arrests.
Felony arrests. So here's a system that we have where you're not allowed to put people in jail. How many people were let out of prisons and jails in California?
77,000. We'll talk about that when we come back right here, folks.
77,000.
But those are only the felons. Those are only felons, okay? They're only the felons. Don't be mean. There's only 77,000 felons, as many people as in the city of Redlands. All right, folks, Philip Naiman will be right back after this with Pastor Tom Hughes, hopeforourtimes.com, and we need it. We'll be right back after this. 77,000. Can you imagine going to the city of Redlands and those are all the felons that they've released? There's that many of them. Yeah. Like whoever's at Trader Joe's, they're all felons. Whoever's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That many have just been released. That's not how many came out from regular doing their time or were never caught. That's Gavin Newsom's voting crowd.
So then that's what it is. That and the open borders. Who else is going to vote for these people?
Well, it's bread and circuses. If they can get something for it, who cares, right?
Yep. When the empire is collapsing, give them bread and circuses. Entertain them and give them money. Give them free food. They'll vote for you.
That's what we're seeing.
Praises.
Yeah.
They are.
That's what we're seeing. And you don't even have to vote. They'll vote for you.
Yes, they will. Yeah. They'll vote for you.
Yeah, we know we registered you to vote, but don't worry about it. We'll take care of that for you. It's already printed up for the next 10 years.
We know you would vote for us, so
anyway,
there we go.
So for efficiency, we'll just, just bring those to us. We'll ballot harvest and we'll turn them in for you. It's best if you just leave it blank but sign the envelope. Can you do that? But they say for
make sure it's all good.
It's all good. Yeah. Oh, it's the best. It's the best. The Ilhan Omar. Okay. The last congressional. I know she's probably one of your favorites, right?
Oh yeah, totally.
It's not Ilhan. We should just call her Incest Omar since she married her brother.
Yeah, no kidding.
So they caught a guy bragging about how he's buying ballots from people for $200 a piece. Now, there's not very many citizens in the particular area that she votes in. It's only like 5,000 votes get the congressperson elected, right? Mm-hmm. So what's it take to run for Congress? $500,000 marketing, right? But if you get 5,000 votes at $200 a piece, that's only $100,000 to buy your seat.
Yeah, and you don't even have to advertise.
No.
So it works out even better. And the extra money, you can pocket it or give it to your brother, husband, whatever.
Exactly.
Or
you hire them on your campaign for $500,000 a year.
Or in her case, you can send it back to her Muslim friends. And
why? They're here.
There you go.
They were on the last C-130 coming over.
You ever seen a YouTuber called Monkey Works? You might enjoy him. You would enjoy him. Uh-oh. He's this aviation guy that's military, and he has all this. He got like 600,000 subscribers, and he follows these C-130s and everything. He tells exactly what's going on with them. He probably does about 3 videos a week.
Wow.
It's insane.
I don't know if I want to know what's going on with them.
Yeah.
Do you?
No, because we keep finding out.
It's just bad news.
He tells us a year before it's due.
So here's my take on. I did a video on it the other night. Here's my take on why we left 600,000 small arms in Afghanistan while we only had 2,500 soldiers, 2,000 armored personnel carriers, 40, 50 Blackhawks, all those tanks, 16,000 night vision goggles for 2,500 soldiers. Mm-hmm. I believe this goes back. This is again not my conspiracy theory. It's my connect the dots. This goes back to when Obama released those 5 guys out of prison for the traitor Bradley or whatever it was. I forget which traitor he did a couple of them. Was this Bradley Manning or the other one? I don't know if it's a transsexual, just a crazy one. It's one of the two. But when he let them have their 5 guys back and they set all this stuff up, is back when Joe's doing all these deals with China and Hunter Biden's flying around on Air Force 2 to China. And all of a sudden, when we leave under Biden, Bagram Air Force Base is in perfect condition, swept up, toilets even cleaned for the next people to come in. Not that they use toilets, but they had to clean the toilets. But the amount of arms that they left behind are more than enough for another army. 600,000 small arms. Okay. That's more than I have. Right? That's a lot. So I think what they've done is they have created enough to arm an army that will destabilize Pakistan. Right? Mm-hmm. And if Pakistan, because half those guys are already radical Islamists, if Pakistan is disabled, now they've got nukes. Mm-hmm. You know, and then you can take your biblical prophecy from there, because it's all the right area, all the wrong people, all the right stuff. Man, what a mess that would be. And if it's going to take the Israelites 7 years to pick up all the weapons, well, we know how many weapons there were. There were 640,000 of these, 16,000 night goggles, 2,000 of those, right? Anyway, that's my spiel. I think that this is, and as we're finding out with everything else, like the voting and all these things these guys have done, man, they've been doing this for 10, 15 years. We're just seeing the results.
Yeah.
You know, they planted the seeds way back. We're reacting to what's grown from it, not realizing who set this up and when they set this up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think George Bush is complicit in this stuff too.
Look at
So-
how he's acting now.
Yeah, there's questions for a while, and he's a globalist. And you start looking at these guys that are globalists, and you realize the only way they can have their global kingdom is if America isn't this powerful nation.
Right.
So you start taking it from there, you realize, okay, that's why these things are happening. This is evil stuff.
Well, let's talk about that when we'll pick it up. Let's talk about that because it's your vision. Anyway, we'll go with that. Ready, Dan?
Spartans, lay down your weapons. Come and get them.
Hey folks, Philip Naiman, Firing Line Radio Show. I want you to go to hopeforourtimes.com and take a look at some of the videos that Pastor Tom has set up there. Also, while you're at it, now you realize we're at war with Facebook. No, actually, we're not at war with them. They just like to censor me. All of a sudden, I can't get into my own account. I can't communicate with you guys. So it looks like there's no activity because they've locked me out of my own account that I created and I'm the only monitor on. So to stop that from happening, please go over to gab.com/Firing Line Radio. Join us over there. That's where the party's going to be. I have a lot of things to announce as far as giveaways. I've got the Arc and Scope I'm giving away. I've got cutting edge bullets coming in, Macmillan stocks, Proof Research barrels. I've got a 50% discount on a carbon barrel for that. Great stuff to give away, but we're not going to do it through the fake book. We need you to move. And the sad thing is all those people that are our subscribers, if you will, on Facebook, if you don't go over to Gab, one day it's just going to be gone. They're going to drop everything Second Amendment or anything conservative out of their system. We've seen it. We know the game plan. Why are you still there, right? So move over to gab.com and get something for free because we'll be giving stuff away over there. Anyway, also, I'm posting some things on the YouTube, but they're also at Gab. We really need to get people over there as quickly as possible and quit, well, like Andrew Torba, the founder of Gab, says, we need to build parallel economies. We need a parallel social media system. We need parallel banking. We need other things. If you're doing business with somebody who doesn't have the same mindset you are, you're giving bullets to the enemy to shoot at you with. Kind of like Joe Biden in Afghanistan, right? A couple million rounds of 223. What could happen? What could happen? All right, folks, joining me here back, I have Pastor Tom Hughes, 412 Church in San Jacinto. Hopeforourtimes.com is his website. And we're talking about, at the end there, we're talking about the mindset of people who say that Christians shouldn't fight back, Christians shouldn't own guns. And they come with some lame theology, literally lame theology, to back that up. So Pastor Tom, we kind of jumped off the edge there. If you'll pick it up for me again, I really appreciate that.
So from what we were talking about, I look at this whole situation with what I'm hearing. I get, let me put it this way, Philip, I get more pushback from other pastors for saying the things I say than I do from anybody else. It doesn't matter what it is, coming from people who are on the left, people who are atheists or whatever. It's other pastors that are most offended by the things I say. Like, what's the matter with you guys? But I look at it, this is my own perception. I don't understand where these guys actually come from when it comes to their Bible understanding. It doesn't make any sense to me. So did they only take the Bible in the happy passages where Jesus did miracles or something like that? I mean, what is it that they were actually reading? Did they not really believe the rest of the Bible? Do they not believe in standing up for righteousness? Listen, when you look at the Bible and you look what even the Apostle Paul says that you're supposed to do, he writes in there about persecution coming. And he talks, he got in the fight. The Apostle Paul was arrested, he was tortured, all different kinds of things. He didn't back down from the establishment of politics, and he didn't back down from the establishment of religion. Neither one of those. And they're both trying to shut him up. A very similar dynamic is happening right now.
Exactly. Paul went and preached directly to the kings. He didn't say, oh, wait a minute, give to Paul or give to Caesar what is Caesar's, give to Jesus what is Jesus. So we'll just let the government do whatever they want to do. He didn't. He actually went to Festus and tried to talk to Nero. And he said, I appeal to Caesar, because he was not afraid of that. And what we see now is we see, oh, well, we can't talk about voting from our pulpit because, oh, we might get audited. Really? If they want to audit you, they'll audit you anyway.
Yeah. You might get audited. So the Apostle Paul knows, hey, I'm probably going to get my head cut off.
Or whipped.
This is what I'm going to do.
I'm going to get beaten. I'm going to get jailed. I might get my head cut off. I'm still doing it.
Yeah, I'm still going forward. So yeah, this is what we have. Well, they might say mean things about me on Facebook. They might, some of my friends might not talk to me anymore, might not do this. What does the matter with people? When I hear all the time, hey, you shouldn't be talking like this. You need to just avoid getting involved in these topics. When you look at people that in the Bible, they never did anything like this. Where do you get that from? If you look at the prophets of the Old Testament, the faithful prophets, what do? They went before kings. They went before princes. They went before the crooked priests that were part of the problem. Listen, Ahab was a bad king. He had 400 false prophets that were misleading the masses of the people. But he had a few of them that were outspoken. One of them was named Micaiah. He goes up there and he says, hey, this is what your problem is. And he confronts King Ahab. King Ahab has him thrown into a pit. Jeremiah was thrown into a pit, not by Nebuchadnezzar, the Babylonian king. He was thrown into a pit by the king of Judah because he didn't like hearing what he was told. John the Baptist had his head cut off because he confronted the king and said, hey, king, you're messed up, and I know you don't like to hear what I'm going to tell you, but I'm telling you anyways. And John the Baptist is first thrown in prison, then it's off with his head. So you're looking at this going, where do Christians in the 21st century in the Western world? This is a phenomenon in the Western world. Yep. This doesn't happen in China. This doesn't happen in the Muslim countries. Doesn't happen in Russia. It's a Western world. It's a European.
They're being persecuted over there. They don't have time for this pacification.
No.
They don't have time for this. They're being persecuted. We have grown so comfortable that, same thing like in the Second Amendment community. There's a lot of crossover. Not everybody in the Second Amendment community is Christian, but you should be, and we can help you with that. Go call Tom. So, but Second Amendment community, what we see a lot of is, oh, I like to hunt ducks, and I don't really care about AR-15s, and I like to hunt. I hunt deer, so I don't care about AR-15. Somebody else says, well, I only shoot AR-15, so I don't care about hunting. And they fragment. And so every time they come up with a law in the Second Amendment community, they try and find something that they can just carve off and sound bad, like hunting bears with dogs. They make that sound so brutal. Well, now we've got more bears than we know what to do with, and they're in everybody's home up here, and Fish and Game has to come and shoot them anyway. They didn't save any bears' lives, but they've carved off an area. Now you can't hunt bobcats. Like what? 500 bobcats a year were taken. There's like 6 trillion of them out here in my backyard. So they keep carving off one little thing. They're eventually going to get to big game hunting. And then when they get to big game hunting, they're going to say, well, since there's no big game hunting, you don't need that sniper scope anymore. And so they'll carve off another area over there. Nobody needs 10 rounds to shoot a deer. Well, that's great, but that's not what our Second Amendment or our rights were for. So they keep doing this. And it's the same thing what you're talking about there. They cherry pick a really weird version and focus on that. There's not a unity. And so what I was trying to say is in the Second Amendment community, we all need to defend everybody's Second Amendment rights. Somebody wants to shoot cowboy style, great. It's fine. Somebody wants to shoot semi-automatic, that's fine. We have the right as a legal, non-felon citizen of the United States, you have the right to protect yourself and own a firearm, especially from tyranny. And we're not going to give up our rights and self-subjugate and just say, oh, well, yeah, there's a mean tweet about that. I should just cave. For crying out loud. How did we end up with this wonderful country that espouses our rights? Our rights came from God, but this country allows us to declare them and to live them out freely more than anywhere else. Did that just happen? Did it not take people to pledge their life, their liberty, their fortunes, their families to pull this off for us. And we fall apart on a mean news section, or, well, I don't know. They want me to wear my mask. I have to wear it even though it's useless. And my mask is under my chin anyway, but I have it on because I'm complying. It's like, what is the matter with you?
Yeah.
I don't get these people.
Yeah.
Okay, explain my
So
psychosis.
the whole
There you
thing
go.
no, I agree with you. Well, maybe I'm psychotic too. But so whether it be the Second Amendment or First Amendment, very similar dynamics are taking place in that it's just whittling away at this one little thing. Well, that was hate speech. Well, then you eliminate that. Well, that was an AR-15. The problem is once you start down that path, it has to encompass, it will encompass everything else, because this is a weapon and this is speech. Hence, you cannot have either of these things. And these globalists know, I teach a lot on the globalist movement. These globalists know there's two things that you cannot have if they're ever going to achieve their utopian vision. It's weapons, and you cannot be able to protect yourself, and you cannot have free speech.
No
Hitler
communications,
realized that.
free communications. Folks,
You
Philip Naiman,
can't
Firing
do
Line
that.
Radio Show. Check us out at gab.com/Firing Line Radio. We'll be back with Tom Hughes one more time for hopeforourtimes.com after this. Give me 1 second. 12 seconds.
Tell me when I'm muted.
You had to go out and look for a tree, I think.
It's dying there.
Okay.
So
on?
September 26th, you've
Okay.
got your big event coming up. I want to talk about that.
Oh, we
Right?
do. Oh, that'll be a bunch of. Oh, yeah, that's gonna be exciting. Yeah, looking very forward to it.
Okay, so
Got
let's
two
bring that
very
up here.
outspoken guys. Okay,
All right, Dan.
I'm ready.
Here we
Whatever.
All right. Last segment.
Promises, promises.
Yes! Great hunter. Yes? Fine figure of a man. Yes? Yes?
Yes.
That is all you need to know for now.
Hey, folks, welcome back to Firing Line Radio Show. This is Philip Naiman here with Pastor Hughes. Pastor Hughes for 412 Church in San Jacinto, hopeforourtimes.com, spelled like it sounds. Hopeforourtimes.com is his website. Got some great videos, and he does a lot of current events on there. As he was just explaining to us, a lot of global issues and pointing things out. So it's great teaching. On top of that, and the reason I wanted to have him on this week is September 26th, Sunday the 26th. He's got a very special event at his church. Tom, why don't you tell us about that?
It's going to be great. I have a prophecy conference, and I've invited some guest speakers to come and join me who are quite outspoken, and they will be censored, so I can't be, most of it can't be on YouTube, but it's going to be all day Sunday. We have our regular services, but this whole conference is going to be part of the morning. And then in the afternoon, we've got a barbecue going on that's going to be at about 2 o'clock. And then we go right into the events of the afternoon and evening, starting at 4. The speakers are fantastic. They've all been censored. And they're going to be
It's like a
talking
badge
about
of
things that,
honor,
listen,
right?
We're just not allowed to.
It's like a badge
it
of
is
honor
now.
these days. I've
Listen,
been
it
censored.
really is. I mean, I can't even talk about the mask on YouTube anymore. There's so many things I am not allowed to talk about.
The what on YouTube?
That channel. The mask. I can't even talk about the mask.
Oh, the masks.
I mean, I can talk. I mean, I can't mention the word vaccine. I can't mention elections. I can't mention the mask. There's just these words. It's just insane. I read an article from the New York Times, May of 2020. All right? So over a year ago, I read this article, New York Times, and the article, this is during Trump's era, and the article questioned the vaccine. So all I did was just read it. All right, we come 11 months later, April 2021. Joe Biden is president, however that happened, right? he's president or whatever he is. So I got censored from the video from 11 months earlier. I didn't even comment on the vaccine. I just read the New York Times because they were critical of it at the time because Trump was president. So my YouTube channel got shut down for a week over that. I mean, it's just insane. But isn't this what George Orwell warned of in 1984? You start looking at this, you're going, it's just unbelievable.
I think everybody should reread. If you've never read it, absolutely read it. You should reread or listen to however you want to do it, 1984, because it is amazing. One of the things that, well, the lead character, Winston, his job is changing the past. And when we've gone away from written words and written books and records to electronic media, it can't be any easier to change the past. And we've seen video, we've seen some different video apps that you can run, and it will take a picture of your face right there. And this video app will run whatever I'm saying and make your face say it. It's amazing they have this stuff. It's not talking about the cheap stuff on the phone. There's some high grade stuff where you're watching, I watched him. He did a Trump speech with Trump with Obama's speech and Obama's voice, but you're watching Trump do it. And you're like, whoa, how do we know what's real anymore on video? You really can't. Matter of fact, I'm fake. I'm a digitized version of somebody who never existed. That's how bad this video stuff is. So, and it was hard to fake, a history that really didn't matter. So it's a lot of tedium stuff going there. But in 1984, he changes the words. If somebody falls out of favor, he makes them disappear from their entire history books. They never existed. They're whited out of photographs, just like, Trotsky was whited out with Stalin's photographs. This is real. And this is what happens when you have this group speak of people willing to capitulate, willing to defer to somebody in a white coat for the right judgment, whether or not they're thinking things through for themselves. I've had COVID. My wife's had COVID. Do we need the shot? No. Are they going to mandate a shot for somebody who already has that? Why? If you already have resistance to this disease, why? No one's answering that question. People who are asking it, as you said, are getting censored, and that's a whole nother thing. But there's evil out there, and it's about time that we all wake up and start pointing a finger and say, that is wrong. This makes no sense. This is flat out wrong. What's wrong? Just pick anything that California's trying to pass. That's shooting fish in a barrel, finding something that's wrong that they're passing in California, whether it's, what was Gavin Newsom's election campaign promise was street poop for all, something like that. So
not just San Francisco.
Say it again.
Not just San Francisco.
Not just San Francisco. You too can have street poop. Keep me as governor.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
so
and we did.
So George Orwell says in 1984, talking about that time will come when telling the truth will become a revolutionary act. We've arrived there. Because you speak the truth now, you're going to be lit up, censored, everything else. Why can't I question? Listen, you look at the vaccine, you look at coronavirus. There's a higher risk, the risk factors in taking the vaccine. You've got a super low risk of dying from coronavirus. Am I allowed to say this on this channel?
Yes.
Yeah, I just did. Good. So, because I can't say it on my other one. So it's, the risk factor goes up if you take the vaccine. So why would I want to enter into that place of a high risk? I've watched the numbers over in Israel. Israel's vaccinated almost everybody. And you look at the skyrocketing coronavirus, whereas in the West Bank, where the Palestinians live, you don't have that number. They've rejected the vaccine.
Because they thought it was Israeli.
Number of all these outbreaks.
So here's the thing. If somebody wants to go get the vaccine, fine. You're a big boy, big girl.
Yeah.
But the mandate it, when I look at it and I see who is telling me I have to do this, Joe Biden, Pelosi, Schumer, Fauci, Kamala Harris, Gavin Newsom, everybody whose ideas for my life are exactly the opposite of what I want for myself are forcing me to do it. And I'm like, whoa, okay. you're not on my team and you're forcing me to do something on this. Just that alone, I simply don't trust you. If you leave it out there, and if I feel the need that I need to take a vaccine for whatever reason, and it's my choice, then that's the way it should be. But to force, to mandate, to overcome all of this, when that disturbs me, because you can't trust these people at all. They're absolutely, well, they're liars and thieves and bullies and everything. So you can't trust them.
Yeah. So these are the same people that say you got to follow the science.
Right.
Right. Yet their science tells me that there's more than two genders, that boys are actually girls and girls are actually boys. These are the people that are telling us to trust the science.
Well, they call it menstruation because men can do it too.
Apparently so.
Yes, that's why it's men's.
So
menstruation.
yeah, so exactly. So now you can't tell, say, a man can't get pregnant, right? However, if a man speaks on abortion, they say, well, wait a minute, how can a man speak on that? Well, I thought you said I couldn't get pregnant. I mean, the hypocrisy is off the charts. How about this? So Biden says all federal employees or whatever it is are going to have to get the vaccine. Well, unless you work for me, unless you're part of my department. Oh, and by the way, the post office gave a whole lot of money to the Biden campaign. If you're a postal worker, you don't have to be vaccinated. Let me see, who else can I put on that list that doesn't have to be vaccinated?
So I actually thought I was going to go down to the postal service down here and just say, hey, I want to work for you 1 hour a year. I'll mop the floors. I don't care. Just you don't even have to pay me.
Hey, there you go.
Just put me down here.
You are
I want to join your union.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, that's not a bad idea. Maybe an hour a year. What do you guys think? I would do that. You guys do it? Let's see if we can. I wonder if they'd hire us.
We got to find somebody in there to help us out. Yeah, but it's insane. And just to have to think about that, we're traveling and everybody wants to travel. And so, I see people making a value judgment of, do I do this so I can go to Europe? Okay. Mm-hmm. I understand that's a great vacation, but where's your judgment on this? If you're going to be forced to do this so you can take a vacation, is that penny wise, pound foolish? It's the forcing part. Again, if you're out there and you want to get the vaccine, God bless you. I don't care. Go do it. You want to get a flu shot every year? I don't care. That's fine. But it's the mandating and it's the amount of force that is Joe Biden slamming his hand on the podium and then walking away without a question. Get the vaccine. Rub my legs, make the hair stick up, and then go get a vaccine. Let me sniff your children. Go get a vaccine.
But if you work for me, you don't have to get a vaccine. But all the rest of you people out there, you got to get the vaccine. So why is it that you have to be, first of all, it was everybody needs to get the vaccine. And then everybody wasn't getting it. So let's give a little bit of money. Let's give some ice cream to anybody who would get
ice
the
cream.
vaccine. Let's do this.
Folks, you can see why I had Tom Hughes on the show here today. He's an excellent source of resource. Check him out at hopeforourtimes.com, hopeforourtimes.com, and we'll be here next week for you. Oh yeah, September 26th, go to his conference, September 26th, hopeforourtimes.com. Pastor Tom, thank you for your time. I know you're a very busy man. God bless.
You bet. You bet.
We clear? Dr. Dan?
You're opaque. Yes, you're clear. Sorry.
All right. Thank you, Pastor.
Recording has stopped.
We will.
Okay. Thanks, Philip.
We will put this on a. I can put this in a Dropbox if you want a copy of it, or it'll be on. Actually, just take it off Gab. Take it off gab.com/Firingland Radio, because you have to follow me to get it.
Okay, that'd be great.
You guys should be over there too. You should start posting your stuff over there, Pastor. You should start
check into that, Matthew. Gab.com.
Yep.
Yeah, we will.
All right, guys.
On there yet. Okay.
Thanks, you,
Philip. Tell
See you
Mary
soon.
hi for me.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
He gone.
All right.
To promote.
Yep. Hey, folks, Philip Naiman, Firing Line Radio
You're
Show.
too fast. You're too fast. You're too fast. Yeah. Yeah. Now you can do it. All right, go ahead.
Hey, folks, Philip Naiman, Firing Line Radio Show, heard Saturdays at 1 o'clock. This week, my very special guest is Pastor Tom Hughes from 412 Church, and hopeforourtimes.com is his website. We're talking about Christianity and self-defense. Very good argument, very good discussion. And also come to his seminar on September 26th. More info at hopeforourtimes.com. This is Philip Naiman at firinglineradio.com.
Yeah, start it out again. Just, hey, folks, Philip Naiman, Firing Line Radio Show. Then you can stop.
Hey, folks, Philip Naiman, Firing Line Radio Show.
That'll work.
All right, thanks, Dan.